Dr. Ben with Do Health Supplements. I'm out here on the Tennessee River. It's beautiful. It kind of looks like the Danube. If this was Europe, there would be castles everywhere. It's just amazing and gorgeous. Reason I'm making this video is to answer a few questions, frequently asked questions I get concerning my health supplements and dosing for pregnant women, for infants, and for children. And it's kind of a complicated question, and so I was kind of hesitant to put the information out there, but I decided it's actually more useful for me to share this. So just standard disclaimers apply. This is information, not advice, yada, yada, yada. But I really encourage people who use my stuff and who want to ask those questions to call me up directly and ask me, but I'm going to give some of the information now. Just be aware to always consult your local licensed healthcare provider. And it's really a lot of responsibility as a new mother as to what to do, and so don't be the only one making those decisions. So the first question is dosing for pregnant and expecting mothers. And so in an ideal world, you would want to detox for a while before you have a baby, and be detoxed and then have a baby. So ideally you would want to be using the iMed system for, I would say, 3 to 6 months prior to having a baby, so that your body is fully detoxed before you have a kid. But you know, it's not a perfect world, so some mothers get pregnant and then they are worried about detoxing. And the problem is, whatever you detox is going to go into your baby through the breast milk. But it turns out that the benefit of detoxing, especially taking the iodine, still outweighs worrying about the toxins going into the baby, because the baby will detox faster as well. So basically, as a pregnant woman, you really need to take your iodine. And you'll notice that the standard dosing for men, you work up to 2 drops. For women, it's 4 drops. For pregnant and breastfeeding women, it is 6 drops. So you don't just start at 6 drops. You do 1 drop first week, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. It takes you a full month and a half to get up to your full 6 drops dosage. And you really want to take the iodine. So then the question is, for infants, what is the dosing for infants? And also, should pregnant women take silver and gold? So that's up to you. I recommend that you do take silver and gold and iodine all together, even as a pregnant woman. However, out of caution, you can just do iodine if you want. At a minimum, you need to do the iodine. There aren't any known problems with the silver or gold with pregnancy. But at the same time, there's just not enough information, because these nutrients are still pretty new, even though they're ancient. So I recommend for pregnant women to actually take 1 drop of silver, 1 drop of gold, and then 6 drops of iodine. But some pregnant women just do 6 drops of iodine and don't do the silver and gold, at least through pregnancy. So then the question is, what about when you're breastfeeding? Okay, so it turned how much health supplements to give to the infant. Okay. And that's a complicated question, but I'll try to break it down for you. But basically, you should, as a mother, you should be breastfeeding. And it turns out that the first 6 months of breastfeeding are very critical. And you actually don't need to give the infant in the first 6 months any iMed health supplements, because mother should be taking them and the baby would be getting them through the breast milk. So especially with the iodine, that's 4 drops for mom, and I'm saying 6, so that's an extra 2 going to baby through the milk. The iodine actually goes in the fat part of the milk, and the baby will get the milk. Now, if you're not breastfeeding and you're using formula or something, then the baby likely is not getting enough iodine, in which case you would want to give the infant a drop of iodine on the skin every day. But most infants should be getting the iodine and the silver and gold also through the breast milk, which is nice, because it lets the body decide how much to use. Now, if you, once again, are using formula, you want to give the infant a drop of iodine on the skin. Also, it's more critical that the infant would get silver if they were not being breastfed, because in the first 6 months of breastfeeding, the baby actually gets a lot of immunity protection from the mother through the breast milk. And so if the baby is not being breastfed, it's not getting that immunity and protection. And so you can try to compensate with that by giving the baby silver. But you have to dose the silver correctly. So, you know, new silver, 1 drop of the new silver is the correct amount for an adult on a daily basis. But for a baby, you would want to use new kids, which is 1/10 strength. So you'd either have to dilute new silver, or you'd have to get the new kids child-based dosage, and then you could actually give a drop of silver and iodine to the baby. That's if the baby is not being breastfed. But I really highly recommend women that you actually breastfeed your babies. And I did a lot of research on this. Question is, how long are you supposed to breastfeed? Well, I believe you should breastfeed for the first 2 years. And there's really certain checkpoints. The first 6 months is critical. The first year is critical. And then people usually continue breastfeeding for 2 years. But there's a lot of immunity that goes to the baby through breastfeeding. Then another issue that's very important is vaccines. Unfortunately, in mainstream medicine, they are sometimes trying to give babies 8 vaccines all at once in their first 2 weeks of life, which is just ridiculous. There's a lot of studies of that injuring babies, and it's very bad. Usually the baby should be getting all the immunity protection they need from mother through the breast milk in those first 6 months. So I would recommend not vaccinating at all, but if you did, wait till after the first 6 months of the baby's life to vaccinate. And then even if you did do the vaccines, that you would want to spread them out, not give them 8 vaccines all at once. Like you might want to do 1 vaccine and then wait a month and do the next one and the next one. But this view is not shared in mainstream medicine. So I can only give you this as information, not advice. Talk to your local healthcare provider. It's really, but women, I really recommend that you do some research on this issue and be very hesitant. Really do your homework on those vaccines before you give that baby 8 vaccines all at once in the first 2 weeks of life. That's very scary. I personally would not give the baby any vaccines until after 6 months. So that covers infant. And then so for children dosing, okay, so when the children are small, then it's fine. They can do 1 drop of iodine, 1 drop of silver, 1 drop of gold for through their teenage years. Once the woman gets her sexual characteristics come in, she needs double the amount of iodine as the male. So basically, for once a woman is full female size, she needs 4 drops. So you just kind of extrapolate. Probably when the girl's like 13, she's probably gonna need about 3 drops. When she's around 10, she probably needs about 2, and the guy can get by with half as much. But 1 drop of silver, 1 drop of gold is fine, and then you take the iodine through the skin. So I believe I've covered dosing of iMed health supplements all the way from getting pregnant to breastfeeding to infants to young kids to old kids. If there's any questions, please call or email me. My website is imeddo.com. Thank you very much. This is Dr. Ben with iMed Health Supplements. Have a great day.